All right, now hit pause again.
All right. Well, if Donald catches up, he will catch up. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tyler the Young Chief. I work as the partner manager for One Feather, and I will be the moderator for tonight's MNBC Region 4. This is a quick overview of what the agenda will look like. If you do not have the agenda, give me a moment, I will share. So we'll start with opening remarks. I'll introduce myself. My teammate is supposed to be here, but they are running late. No worries at all. Candidates will have 3 minutes for their candidate introductions and opening statements. And then we'll get into the campaign platform where they'll be given 5 minutes each to go over their whole platform. And if you're going to ask questions from anybody on the channel, by all means, throw them in the chat box. That way we'll have time to moderate them and ask the candidates as we get along. Once they're done their campaign platform, we'll go over question and answer session. Please be respectful in any questions, as well as there will be no discriminatory or abusive verbs anywhere, as we want to keep a respectful platform as well. After all the questions have been gone through, or majority have gone through, we will go with a 3-minute final closing remarks by each candidate, at which time we will adjourn. Now we have a lot of time specifically for this town hall, but we'll see how fast we can get through it. If we take more time, even better. I'm sure Deborah is looking forward to answering any and all questions she can. With that being said, Deborah, would you care to start? I will hit a timer for you.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you very much for people that are attending, and also for One Feather for doing this. And I am calling in from the shared and traditional territory of the Townhall and Secwepemc people. So first of all, my name is Deborah Fisher, and I was born and raised in Invermere, BC. I'm a Kootenai girl, and I'm very proud of that. My Métis family names are Bourassa, Boyer, Wallet, Pichy, Dumont, and Ross, and they come from my 91-year-old mother's side. And we have historical roots, of course, in the Red River, Batoche, and Meadow Lake areas. I always knew I was Métis, and I was raised to be a proud Métis. My mom is my hero, my inspiration, my rock in all things Métis. Family, work ethic, hunting and harvesting were our way of life, and always the respect for the land. The land was our church. I was taught that I had no reason to hold my head down, especially during rough times when racism was prevalent in the school system. I was told to get up, hold my head up high, and get on with what had to happen. My mom's first language was Michif, which she lost when she entered school, and then later day school. And she lived on Moccasin Flats and basically was orphaned at the age of 8.5 and raised by strangers. Yet her continued strength for family preservation has no limit. And that is what I want for our Métis children. So who is Deborah Fisher? Well, I've been a backpacker of the world, a waitress, a clothing store owner, and at 32, I went to school, and then again at 42. I worked 6 years with children with special needs, and then 20 plus years as an Indigenous support worker. A program that I developed, and my coworker, who is now chief here, we raised the graduation rates of our students from 23% to 80% plus in less than 2 years. I've been married for 47 years to my best friend, Ken, who was born in Creston. We have 3 grown children. Our oldest daughter, who is a teacher, our second oldest is finishing off her social work degree, and our youngest, our son, is a plumber by trade. And he continues practicing our Métis culture as it's in his blood. He hunts, he fishes, he traps on the land, and as well as he guides in the Yukon. And we have numerous grandchildren from birth to bonus children, and we're very proud of them. My family and I have hosted over 35 children via foster care, respite care, emergency care, and international students. And we try very hard to give more than what we give.
Thank you for that introduction, Deborah. I'm just getting word that Donald might be on here in the next few minutes, but we'll go ahead with going on with the agenda. That way, if he does get on, perfect. We have ample time to let him go over his platform and his introduction as well. Now, at this point, we will go over Deborah's platform. So by all means, Deborah, take it away again. You will have 5 minutes to go over that.
Well, my platform is with my team of warriors, I have to say. I am a Kukum. And a Kukum is somebody that comes with experience, lived experience, taught experience, and still learning experience to come. And I'm surrounded by an amazing team that has worked really hard over the last 4 years to right a ship that was listing very bad. And with that team, we have some goals. The first 2 years were rather difficult because we hit COVID, but I have to say the last 2 years has been incredibly powerful, and we have done some incredible good work as a team. We don't always get along, but when we put a child in the middle, particularly our Métis child in the middle, we all seem to be able to come together with what is right, what is the right thing to do. So at this point, our goals are, we definitely, myself and our team is to promote Métis rights and recognition and achieve jurisdiction over our children. That is number 1. Number 2 is to promote cultural revitalization and cultural wellness. Number 3 is to pursue social, economic reconciliation. Number 4 is to support Métis communities. And 5 is to generate core capacity, infrastructure, and economic development. And number 6 is to develop and restore respectful relationships and partnerships. Each and every one of these are important. They were the things that we're missing. They're the things that we need to work together on as a nation and as chartered communities. I have always been a team player. I've never ever gotten where I am by myself. And I have to say, the last 2 years in particular, we have formed a very special bond, and that bond is about protecting our nation. I will do everything and anything to protect my nation, because by protecting my nation, I protect our children, I protect our citizens, I protect our chartered communities. I want to work together with the citizens and also with our chartered communities to come up with the best laid plan for the nation and for our future together. Thank you.
Again, if anybody has any questions, by all means, drop them in the chat and then we'll moderate them and we'll give them to the candidates as we go along. Thank you, Deborah, for that, conveying your platform. Are there any questions from any of in attendance?
Sorry, Tyler, do you want the questions like typed to you first, or?
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right, Deborah, we got a
Yeah.
couple of questions. We'll go over the first one. How many daycares are you planning on opening in BC?
Well, actually, that's an amazing question. Thank you, Louis. We are opening 11 daycares at this time that we are working on. We have another 23 that are in the works at various stages. We have one open already in Victoria. We have another 2 that just came on board for Cranbrook and Prince George that are at the beginning stages. We have one that will be opening up in Mission in September. And I think this is the most proud moment I have, I guess, for the education portfolio, because it is working very much with the charter communities, finding out what the citizens' needs are, and going and building relationship with First Nations as well. We are not doing this alone. We are doing it in partnership, in good relationship with First Nations. I was just in Port Alberni a while back, and I have to say the welcome was incredible, as well as the welcome that we had in Mission. So I know our staff and our team are doing good work. I can't wait until we actually get those little children in there and they see themselves in these childcare centers, because they're going to be beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They're going to be everything we would have wanted as children.
Thank you, Deborah. Next question. Are you a member of any other Métis organization?
No, I'm not. I'm actually, I held my first meeting at my kitchen table 45 years ago, and that was even before Métis Nation British Columbia had evolved. I've always wanted to have that strong connection with other people. I always wanted to build community. I started, I guess, being a director, participant actually, of Columbia Valley Métis many years ago. Or we called it Columbia River Métis. And I was a citizen of that, a director, a vice president and president. And then we chose to start our own charter communities. So I was the founding president of Columbia Valley Métis, which I am extremely proud of. I am faithful to Columbia Valley Métis. I am faithful to my region, and I am faithful to Métis Nation BC. I do not belong to any other Métis organization, and nor would I.
Okay, Deborah, next question. Where do the candidates stand in the proposed two-tiered resolution?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Where do the candidates stand in the proposed two-spirit resolution?
Oh, and where do the candidates, where I stand solely with them. Absolutely.
What do you see as the biggest challenge in engaging the Métis citizens within your region to encourage more participation?
I see the biggest challenge is complacency. And I also believe it comes from the fact of other fractions trying to do some work here. I believe that a lot of people are complacent when it comes to politics, period. They don't feel like they have a voice. And I want to assure you that the people that I represent have a voice through me. I go to bat for citizens on a personal level, and I go to bat for chartered communities. I am here for them. I am open, honest, and transparent. I even have only one phone number, my personal number. So I'm on call 24/7, 7 days a week. And that's the choice I've made, because that's what I think citizens need. They need to know that they've got the ear of somebody and that somebody is willing to go to bat for them. I am somebody who challenges when somebody says no, I want to know the reason why, and they better have good reason. Because when it comes to our citizens, and in particular our children, I don't accept no for an answer if it's not the right thing to do.
Thank you, Deborah. Next question is, what restraints have been put in place to protect Métis citizens from outside organizations such as BCMF?
Well, people have a choice. People have a choice to belong to whatever organization they want, but there's only one nation. There's only one recognized Métis government in British Columbia, and that's Métis Nation British Columbia. Other organizations, they do wonderful work. I don't have a problem with people belonging to other organizations, but there is only one Métis government that represents the citizens of this province. And we recognize that we have 26,000 right now that are registered with Métis Nation British Columbia, and we're calling many, many back. And people have to understand that we went to residential school. We went to day school. We were a huge part of the 60 Scoop. So there are many people that are still nervous about coming home to their nation. And we're trying to change that. And I believe we are. It's just the growth that we've done in the last couple years, particularly the last 2 years, has been immense. We've got 26,000 citizens. We have more in the queue, and we're welcoming them home. That's what we need to do. We need to wrap our arms around them and make them feel safe and provide as much as we can with the funding that we get for whatever issues that they may have.
Thank you for that, Deborah. Again, if there are any additional questions, by all means, drop them in the chat and we will continue on. I will give everybody a couple of minutes to go over it. Thank you for those that have posed questions. All the questions will be up, but the video itself will be up on the MNBC page in the next 24 to 48 hours. So the candidates or the electors can take a look at the video or use it for their own campaign efforts. If there are no other questions, we may proceed with, I guess it would be the closing statements by the candidates. So that would be Deborah. Oh, we got one more question in the chat. Sorry, Deborah.
That's
From
okay.
your perspective, what do you see as the biggest challenge in the way of a firm, constitutionally recognized Indigenous rights for Métis and BC?
Oh
Or
boy,
affirming
that's
constitutionally
affirming.
recognized.
I would say that in my perspective is that government doesn't even know who Métis people are. And that's federally and provincially. My experience the last 4 years, I mean, the first 2 years we weren't doing in-person meetings, of course, but once we got out of COVID and started doing in-person meetings provincially and federally, and this goes for all ministries, actually our whole team that we're meeting with that same issue is walking into meetings with people in higher governments that didn't even know about Métis, don't understand Métis, didn't know who we were. That is a fundamental issue in Canada. It's a disgrace. It is the education system that let us down. It is our federal politics that let us down. It is our provincial politics that let us down, that they're not even educated about the people that they represent. I am a firm believer that we can change that. I also know we have changed that. Walking into a meeting in the last year has been totally different. I do not want to lose that momentum that we have built. We have too much to lose. Now is not a time for change. Now is a time to support myself and the rest of our team to finish the job that we started. We laid a very sound foundation, and we need the next 4 years to finish it off. Recognizing our Indigenous rights for British Columbia is a top priority. Our children's lives depend on it. I am not somebody who I would say is in your face kind of person, but I can tell you that my nickname from the students that I work with and with some of the families I've worked with is that I can be a grizzly bear when I need to be. And I will when it comes to our children. And I will when it comes to my nation. I will stand together with citizens, our charter communities, and our board of directors to do what's best for our nation. And I don't think anybody can ask anything more from that.
Thank you for that, Deborah. Are there any additional questions? By all means, as I've always said, just drop them in the chat, and me and my counterpart Delaney can moderate them. Thank you for that, Alex. I know it is challenging to text only questions, but it helps us keep them in line, and we can also utilize them to make sure that they're put up for the candidates to review as well. If there are additional questions, or you are looking to pose more questions ahead of time for the next for the next forums or the next town hall meetings, by all means, reach out to One Feather. That would be melissa@onefeather.ca to pose your questions ahead of time. Are there any other questions at this time? I'll give everybody a minute.
Has there been any contact from the other candidate?
Not as of yet.
Thank you.
Deborah, we have an additional question. If the BOD changes, how will they support working with them?
The same way that we started. It's about building relationship and trust. I believe that it's about sharing the vision for our nation, and I do believe that we're all together on the same path. It's a matter of just building those relationships. When I was first elected, I can honestly say that I didn't know all the candidates. And I can say over probably the first 6 months, I came to see what people's strengths and weaknesses were. But at the same time, they saw the same thing in me. And what changed, what built the feeling I have for the board that we have now is because we supported each other. And that meant the world to me. Not everybody has the skills when they first come in, but we're only as strong as the weakest person. And so we built each other up, and that truly is how I want to work in the future as well.
Thank you for that, Deborah. Are there any other questions? If there's anything you're pondering, by all means, drop it in the chat and we will go over it. Oh, here's a good one. Is it possible to be any more amazing than you already are?
Uh, David, you're making me blush. Oh my goodness. I am who I am. My life is an open book. I care about people. I care about our kids. I care about our nation. I just want to work for our charter communities and our children and our citizens and become the nation I know we can. We already are just about there. We're so close on so many things. And I applaud all the candidates. It takes guts to put your name forward. It truly does. And who gets in, and who doesn't, doesn't. But we're different. We're different. Because I know we're still going to all be working together because we all have the same people in mind that we're thinking about. So I just wish everybody good luck. Let's just get on with it and do the job that needs to get done.
Thank you for that, Deborah. And thank you for that, David. Are there any additional questions for the candidate? We are going to try to reach out to Donald one more time to see if he is able to make it, as we are scheduled for another hour, I do believe. As stated, this video will be up on the MNBC website or YouTube, so the candidates and everybody in attendance or those of your family do have the availability to review it in the next 24 to 48 hours. If there are no additional questions that are coming to mind right now, I will give everybody a couple more minutes.
It's like Topher's gonna sacrifice the pig here. Starting up the barbecue. Oh, it's got a roast going on.
Are you cooking for us all, Topher?
If you can get it here in time for dinner, absolutely.
Well, I can
Are
tell you
you-
my heart's there already, but just saying.
Are you at your parents' house by any chance? Because I know where
Me?
that is and I haven't eaten.
I have steak for dinner if you want to come over.
Oh, yummy, yum.
Last round for a call out for questions. Anybody at all? there are no more questions, we will proceed with the next portion, which would be closing statements from the candidates.
I think we did that, didn't we?
No, we were about to, and then we got a couple more questions for you,
Oh,
Deborah.
right. Well, my closing
Nope.
statement would be that I hope that I can count on your support and your vote. Like I said before, my life is an open book. I am open, honest, and transparent. I do have the needs of our whole nation in my heart because I'm a proud Métis. I was raised to be proud. I am proud. I raised my children to be proud, and I want all of our families to be proud. And I think we need to do that by making them proud with a proud nation and a strong nation and one that supports them. I would have to say my greatest wish is that we just come together and we work together and we build together and we support each other. I thank you very much for coming. And I thank you, One Feather, for providing this opportunity. And thank you to everyone that took the time to come. Means a lot.
Thank you for that, Deborah. I want to say, Nanaskaman, say hey. Thank you all for attending the virtual town hall, and thank you, Deborah, for coming out and conveying your platform and answering everybody's questions. As previously stated, this is recorded and the video will be available in 24 to 48 hours on the MNBC YouTube channel. Oh, one last question from a citizen who is not Zoom friendly.
Tyler, for the sake of time, do you mind if I just read it and then I'll post it? I just don't want to.
Yes, sir, Jeff.
Okay, so this is from a citizen who is not Zoom friendly, and she asked, "What action are you proposing to help eliminate racism?"
Well, racism is something that I had to endure when I was a child, and it wasn't easy. And I can talk from experience that working in a school system, racism is alive and well. I can say with just the actions of what's happening in the world right now, racism is alive and well. We don't seem to learn from our mistakes. But if anybody or any child in particular is facing racism, I want to know about it in my region because I will work with them in the school system or wherever this child is having a problem. No child should feel unsafe in going to school or even on the playground. It's just unacceptable. I live across the street from a primary school. One goes from K to 3. And I have actually stopped and listened while they're playing. And we have a little hill right in front here. And I've actually stopped kids that have been badgering other students. I don't turn a blind eye to it. We can't turn a blind eye to it. And we as adults need to step up and support people or children that are going through this or families, period. Period. I'll even go to a school board meeting. Whatever they need, I will support. The other part of this is education. And I believe that our Métis Early Years in particular program and the programming that we want to do in the schools would address a lot of this racism. Racism is about people not knowing or understanding who we are. And I think at a very early age, we can teach children to be practical, be safe, and have that sense of acceptance of us as individuals, no matter what we look like and where we come from. We had many international students live with us. And as much as they say they learn from us as a family, I learned from them. And racism is the root of basically the problems we have in the world right now. And it's a scary place. And I know this sounds fluffy. We just need a little more love in this world, a little more understanding, a little more compassion. And that's truly how I feel.
Thank you for that, Deborah. Now we see one late individual here. Vince is still connecting his audio. I just want to see if Vince has any questions for you, Deborah. Vince, if you do have any questions for candidate Deborah, would you drop it in the chat, please? Thank you, Vince. Actually, we've just gone over the closing statements. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I want to thank Deborah for coming out. As I said earlier, Nanaskumun, hi, hi. Thank you for allowing One Feather to be the moderators for your regional town halls, as we look forward to holding the next few regional town halls over the next few days. So as previously stated, this will be available in the next 24 to 48 hours on the MNB website, as well as don't forget to vote in the upcoming election, which is set in September. I want to say Jeff is going to correct me on this one.
The 7th,
September 7th. Thank you for that, Jeff.
September 7th. And I believe online voting starts on August 24th.
Correct. My computer's deciding to go slow right now. But again, I want to thank you all for taking the time this evening to come on and to review the virtual town hall and for posing the questions for candidate Deborah. If that is all, we wish you all the best and good luck to all the candidates in every region, as well as for the vice president and president. Hi, hi. You all have a good night.
That's it.
Good luck, Deb. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
your great answers.
Love you, Deb. You're amazing.
Go, Auntie, go.
Thanks so much, everyone.